Welcome to Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're embarking on, well, a truly breathtaking journey. We're looking into the world of monumental construction.
The real giants of architecture.
Exactly. Buildings that haven't just reshaped skylines, but have seriously stretched the limits of, human ingenuity and, frankly, financial capacity.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Absolutely. We've gathered info on some of these behemoths, and our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to uncover what makes these buildings so mind-bogglingly expensive.
And maybe pull out some fascinating stories behind their creation along the way.
We'll be looking at quite a range: grand religious sites,
Yeah.
cutting-edge tech campuses, sprawling entertainment hubs.
It's quite a mix. And, it's probably worth saying right at the start, when we talk about the most expensive buildings, well, these lists can be debated.
Oh, definitely. How you define things matters, right?
Precisely. Like what even counts as a building? We're generally focusing on enclosed structures. So an airport terminal might make the list.
But not the entire airport infrastructure, runways, and all that.
Exactly. And there's a difference between the price tag when it was built, the nominal cost, and what that money's worth today, the inflation-adjusted cost.
That gives a much better sense of the scale over time, doesn't it?
It really does. It provides crucial context.
Okay, so speaking of scale and long-term commitment, let's dive straight into a project that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
The ongoing expansion of the Great Mosque of Mecca, Masjid al-Haram.
Ah, yes. An incredible undertaking.
The nominal cost is listed at a staggering $120 billion.
120 billion. It's almost hard to comprehend.
And what's really remarkable, as you pointed out with inflation, is that even adjusted for 2021, the figure is still $120 billion.
Which tells you something about the time frame we're looking at. But what's truly fascinating, I think, isn't just the number. It's the continuous nature of it.
Right. It's not like, okay, project done, ribbon cut.
Not at all. It's effectively a perpetual project. It reflects centuries of devotion, but also a massive, sustained financial commitment, primarily by the Saudi government.
It really highlights how some of these huge projects are deeply interwoven with cultural, religious, national identity.
Absolutely. It's more than just bricks and mortar, or steel and glass in this case.
Okay, let's pivot a bit from that incredibly significant religious site to another sector known for, well, colossal costs: nuclear power.
Ah, yes. Another area involving immense complexity and investment.
We've noticed a whole cluster of completions, or expected completions, around the mid-2020s. It suggests some long-term energy strategies finally coming to fruition.
Definitely. Look at Hinkley Point C in the UK. The nominal cost floating around is something like $40 billion.
40 billion, wow. And Plant Vauxhall in the U.S. finished just last year, 2023. That came in around $30 billion nominal.
These figures are just astronomical, and they really underscore the global push, or perhaps a renewed push in some places, towards nuclear energy, despite these massive upfront investments.
What drives those costs so high in nuclear? Is just the materials?
Well, it's a combination of factors. You've got incredibly complex engineering, obviously. Then there are the extremely stringent safety protocols, which are non-negotiable and expensive.
Understandably so.
And yes, the highly specialized materials and containment structures, it all adds up. You see this reflected across the board. There's ITER, the International Fusion Project, expected around 2025 with a nominal cost of $25 billion.
Fusion, that's a whole different level of complexity too.
Absolutely. Then you have Flamanville 3 in France, completed 2023, around $22 billion. Akuyu in Turkey, also 2023, $20 billion. Rupur in Bangladesh, expected 2024, $12.65 billion. Olkiluoto 3 in Finland, completed 2023, $12.4 billion.
It's a global phenomenon, really.
It is. And even slightly smaller projects like Mochovce 3 and 4 in Slovakia, completed 2023, still clocked in at over $7.6 billion nominal. It signals a huge long-term bet on nuclear power happening right now.
That's a remarkable concentration of spending in one specific high-tech area. Okay, let's circle back to Mecca for just a moment, because there's another giant there.
The Abraj Al Bait complex.
Exactly. Completed back in 2012. Nominal cost, $16 billion.
Which, when you adjust for inflation to 2021, comes out closer to $19 billion. So still a massive project.
But what strikes me is, again, the ownership. The Saudi government is listed as the current owner, same as the Great Mosque expansion.
Right. It really underscores that focused monumental investment within Mecca. It points to a clear national priority.
What's the main function of a Abraj Al Bait? It's not just one building, is it?
No, it's a complex. Think powering hotels, loads of retail space, and crucially, extensive prayer facilities, all directly overlooking the Kaaba. It's a prime example of these mixed-use mega developments.
And that complexity, plus the prime location, drives up the cost.
Absolutely. Scale, complexity, location, key ingredients for a high price tag.
Okay, from the, let's say, spiritual heart of Islam to the dazzling world of entertainment and hospitality.
Where spectacle often comes with a hefty bill.
You can say that again. Think about SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Opened in 2020. Nominal cost, $5.5 billion.
Which adjusts to nearly $6 billion in 2021. An incredible venue.
Or that icon in Singapore Marina Bay Sands, completed back in 2010. Also $5.5 billion nominal.
But adjust that one for inflation over a longer period, and it's closer to $6.8 billion in 2021 money. Still one of the benchmarks.
So what's the secret sauce for these huge entertainment venues? Why so expensive?
Well, several things usually come together. Often, it's truly cutting-edge architectural design. Think complex shapes, unique features.
Things that look amazing but are probably difficult to build.
Precisely. Then there's the sheer scale. These places are designed for huge crowds, massive capacities, and technology integration is huge now.
Giant screens, retractable roofs, complex sound systems.
Exactly. All aimed at creating an unforgettable experience. Plus, like Abrash Al Bait, these venues often sit on prime real estate in major cities. That land doesn't come cheap.
You mentioned Singapore and Marina Bay Sands. And looking through the list, it's actually kind of stunning how many ultra-expensive buildings are concentrated right there in Singapore.
It is remarkable, isn't it?
Beyond Marina Bay Sands, you've got Marina One, over $5.3 billion nominal. Resorts World Sentosa, almost $5 billion nominal. Asia Square, over $4 billion. Suntec City, Marina Bay Financial Center. The list goes on and on. Central Boulevard Towers, Guoco Tower.
Even newer ones like Capita Spring and upcoming ones like Com Center and 8 Shenton Way, it's dense.
What is going on in Singapore? Why such a concentration?
I think it reflects Singapore's very deliberate strategy. It positions itself as a major global hub for finance, for business, for innovation. And that ambition is literally built into its skyline.
So they're consciously building these expensive landmark projects.
It seems that way. Combine that ambition with extremely high land values. It's a small, dense island nation and a commitment to creating these world-class commercial and residential districts. Well, it attracts massive investment and results in these high-cost structures.
Projects like Marina One or the Marina Bay Financial Center really showcase that. Strategic, high-value, state-of-the-art development.
It's a deliberate shaping of the urban landscape to project a certain image and function on the global stage.
Fascinating. Okay, another shift. Let's talk tech campuses. Apple Park in Cupertino. The spaceship.
Ah, yes. Completed 2017. $5 billion nominal costs.
Which adjusts to over $5.7 billion.
Yeah.
It's less a building, more a statement, isn't it? The ring shape is instantly recognizable.
Absolutely. Apple Park is a prime example of a company investing heavily, not just in functionality, but in its image, its brand, and fostering a very specific kind of work environment.
And they brought in big-name architects, too.
Foster and Partners, renowned architects, the meticulous design, the sheer scale of it, the huge amount of landscaping and green space integrated into the campus, it all contributes to that significant cost.
It's about creating a symbol of innovation, maybe, as much as a place to work.
I think that's a big part of it. It's a physical manifestation of the Apple brand, purpose-built for a global tech giant.
We've covered sacred ground, palaces of entertainment, tech temples. It's been quite a tour already. Now, if you're enjoying this journey through the world's most expensive buildings and you want to uncover more fascinating stories like these,
then make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, don't miss out on our future deep dives into other captivating topics right here on Tell Me More. Okay, let's maybe take a step back now and try to synthesize a bit. We've seen all these incredible, expensive projects. What are the common threads? What really drives these costs sky high?
Well, if you look across the board, from Mecca to Singapore to Cupertino, several key factors keep popping up. First and foremost, I'd say, is just the sheer scale and complexity.
Bigger isn't always more expensive, but in these cases, it seems to be a major factor.
Right. They aren't just large. They often involve really intricate designs, challenging engineering, things that haven't been done quite that way before.
Okay, what else?
Second, the materials and technology. We're talking advanced, often custom, sometimes very expensive materials, plus cutting-edge tech integrated into the building systems, the facades, everything.
Like in the stadiums or Apple Park.
Exactly. Third, location, and the associated land value. Building in the heart of Singapore or Mecca or Cupertino is vastly more expensive than building somewhere remote.
Land costs can be a huge chunk of the budget.
Definitely. Fourth, the cost of labor and expertise. You need highly skilled workers, engineers, architects, project managers for these kinds of complex jobs, and that specialized knowledge costs money.
Right, you can't just hire any crew for a nuclear plant or a skyscraper like the Burj Khalifa.
Precisely. Then number five, especially for things like nuclear plants, but also hospitals, think of the Royal Adelaide Hospital or the new Children's Hospital in Dublin on the list, are the regulatory requirements and safety standards.
Layers of approvals, specific codes, safety redundancies.
All necessary, but all add to the timeline and the bottom line. And finally, you can't ignore the broader economic conditions. Things like inflation over the multi-year construction period, currency fluctuations if materials or expertise are sourced internationally, even geopolitical events can impact the final cost.
So it's a whole cocktail of factors, really.
It really is. Rarely just one single thing.
What about the role of the starchitects, the famous designers? Do they drive up the cost significantly, or is it more about the client's ambition?
That's a good question. It's probably a bit of both, intertwined. Often, clients with massive ambitions wanting a statement building will seek out renowned architects.
Like Moshe Safdie from Marina Bay Sands or Foster and Partners for Apple Park.
Exactly. And these architects are known for innovative, boundary-pushing designs. That innovation can introduce complexity, require novel construction techniques, or specify unique, potentially more expensive materials.
So the design itself contributes to the cost.
It can, yes, but I'd argue the initial drive usually comes from the client's vision. Whether it's a government wanting a national symbol like the Palace of the Parliament in Bucharest.
Which is huge, incredibly ornate, and costs billions, right?
Right. Or a corporation wanting a landmark headquarters. Or a developer creating a luxury resort like the Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi or the Wynn Palace in Macau. The architect's job is then to translate that ambitious vision into a tangible reality.
An expensive reality, as it turns out.
Often, yes. The architect facilitates the ambition.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this journey through billion-dollar buildings really tell us? What should you, our listener, take away from this?
Well, I think this exploration reveals much more than just eye-watering financial figures. It's really a glimpse into human ambition, isn't it?
Yeah, the desire to build big, build high, build something unique.
And it shows technological progress, how we develop new ways to build these complex structures. It also reflects cultural priorities, what societies choose to invest these vast sums in. Is it faith, commerce, entertainment, national power?
Like the contrast between the Great Mosque and, say, a Las Vegas casino resort like the Cosmopolitan. Both incredibly expensive, but for very different reasons and purposes.
Precisely. And it underscores the sheer effort, the planning, the labor, the coordination required to bring these monumental visions to life. Each structure truly has its own unique story etched in steel, concrete, and yes, billions of dollars.
And, despite the immense cost, these buildings are often intended to serve millions of people or drive entire economies or stand as powerful symbols.
They represent significant bets on the future, in many ways. Bets on tourism, on commerce, on scientific progress, on national identity.
So maybe a final thought for you to ponder. As you look around at the significant buildings in your own town or city, even if they're not on this list,
consider the hidden stories, the investment, the planning, the labor that went into them. What purpose do they serve? What future stories might they tell about us?
it adds another layer to the built environment around us. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of seriously expensive buildings on Tell Me More Stories Told as Podcast.
We hope you found it as fascinating as we did.
And we hope you'll tune in next time for another exploration.